Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the Amani Talks podcast. You're here with your host, Amani, on the podcast where we discuss our Christian-based topics and deepening our relationship with the Lord. And you guys, this is the final episode of our Proverb a Day series. We are going to be reading chapters 30 and 31 to close out the month of July. This has been It's crazy that I chose the busiest month of the year for me to do this Proverb a Day where I have to sit and read and upload every single day. Like, of course I chose the busiest month, but that's just how it is. Like, it's so indicative of how life is, and you can't let life or anything else get in the way of you spending time in the Word. So y'all know I've been on a couple trips. I've been preparing for stuff. I've been really busy content-wise, and I still make sure, even if I'm not able to do it, at the same time every day, I had a couple days where I had trouble uploading, but it still gets done. And that's just how you should always treat your relationship with God. Life is always going to get in the way. Life will always be there. Life is never easy. It's never something that's just convenience, but you still make time to accomplish what you need to accomplish every single day, to spend time with God and in the Word. So I'm not even mad that this was busy, because low-key, this was an example for me to say, if I could do this on my busiest month, then I can do it anytime. I should be in the Word every single day. So yeah, let's go ahead and read through Proverbs 30 and 31 to close out the month. Like, I still can't even believe that. Like, what? I think after this, I'm going to take like a week break from doing the podcast. I have to really get caught up with these vlogs. I got to show y'all what I was doing in DR with my church. I want to show y'all what my Christian girls group was doing in Bali. So I'm going to get those vlogs out this upcoming week. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get in the Word today. All right, Proverbs 30, starting in verse 1. The words of Agur, the son of Jaka, his utterance. This man declared to Ithiel and Ukal. Okay, very interesting names. All right. Surely I am more stupid than any man. Wow. Okay. And do not have the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom nor have knowledge of the Holy One. Who has ascended into heaven or descended? Who has gathered the winds in his fists? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name and what is his son's name, if you know? Every word of God is pure. He is a shield to those who put their trust in him. Do not add to his words, lest he rebuke you and you be found a liar. 2 things I request of you. Deprive me not before I die. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me, lest I be full and deny you, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. Do not malign a servant to his master, lest he curse you and you be found guilty. There is a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes, yet it is not washed from its filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are like swords and whose fangs are like knives, to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. The leech has 2 daughters, give and give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. 4 never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, the earth that is not satisfied with water, and the fire never says enough. The eye that mocks his father and scorns obedience to his mother, the ravens of the valley will pick it out, and the young eagles will eat it. There are 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yes, 4 which I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent on a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a virgin. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wickedness. For 3 things the earth is perturbed. Yes, for 4 it cannot bear up. For a servant when he reigns, a fool when he is filled with food, a hateful woman when she is married, and a maidservant who succeeds her mistress. There are 4 things which are little on the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. The rock badgers are a feeble folk, yet they make their homes in the crags. The locusts have no king, yet they all advance in ranks. The spider skillfully grasps with his hands. and in it is kings' palaces, and it is in kings' palaces. There are 3 things which are majestic in pace, yes, 4 which are stately in walk. A lion which is mighty among beasts and does not turn away from any. A greyhound, a male goat also, and a king whose troops are with him. If you have been foolish in exalting yourself, or if you have devised evil, put your hand on your mouth. For as the churning of milk produces butter, and wringing the nose produces blood, so the forcing of wrath produces strife. 30 is one of the longer chapters, and I'm glad that we're doing 30 and 31 together because it seems like they match each other, whereas we just got out of the wise sayings of Solomon with chapter 29. So I'm kind of glad that we're doing these 2 chapters and ending this month with these 2 together. So going back over these, they got right to business, okay? Starting in verse 2, surely I am more stupid than any man and do not have the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom nor have knowledge of the Holy One. To me, this is stating if you don't know God, you're stupid. You don't acknowledge God, you are not smart. He's saying, I don't have knowledge of the Holy One. I have neither learned wisdom. That makes him stupid. Okay. Fair enough. Sounds about right. But what I really resonated with were verses 7 through 9. Let's read those again. 2 things I request of you. And he's talking to God. So he's saying 2 things I request of God before he dies. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me, lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. I really love that 3-verse section because that's the season that I am in right now. So this is speaking directly to me, and it's something that I am hopefully going to master very soon in my life. And that is the concept of whether I am rich or I am poor, I don't want to turn my back on God in either of those situations. So God, give me just enough of what I need for every single day. Give me just enough of what I need to be a good example every single day. Because he's saying, lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? We see this concept with people who have money. We talked about this maybe like a couple weeks ago. You got money, you feel self-dependent, you feel like you don't need God. That's why the Lord himself says it's hard for rich people to enter the kingdom of heaven. Easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for the rich to inherit the kingdom, because they have their riches on earth. They don't feel like they need nobody. They never call on the name of the Lord. That's why God also says that he is close to the poor. When we are in need, just as humans, that's the time that we call out to the Lord. That's the time that we call out for help. But when you feel like you got everything, you don't need nobody. You definitely don't need God. And then he also says, lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. And we talked about that too. When you're in need and you get desperate, you take things into your own hands, you sin. So it's like, God, just give me enough of what I need and just a little bit of what I want. Give me what I need every day. And when I was reading through this, I was like, a lot of these principles are found in the Lord's Prayer. In Matthew, when Jesus told the disciples how they should be praying, our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. And it's like every single day we should be praying for the daily bread, not the monthly bread, not the yearly bread, not let's get up and go get this bread. Just pray for what you need for today. What I need for today, God, just give me that. And just a little of my desires too on the side. But yeah, I'm really trying to practice that principle of, now that I'm coming out of this hard financial season that I've been in for the first 6 months of the year. Like when I tell y'all I have been struggling for the first whole half of 2025, like really struggling. And now God is like lifting me up out of that. And I'm finally seeing it. And now I'm just like, okay, I've been very dependent on God the first 6 months of this year. And now that I'm starting to get money again, let me not be the person that's like, oh, well, thank you, God. And I'm running away with the money and I'm not acknowledging him. I'm not feeling like I need him as much. I'm not praying as much. I'm not spending as much time with him. And for this type of prayer request, you really have to know yourself. You know, Paul said that he learned to be content in all seasons of life. For me, I feel like I'm not there yet. I feel like I'm not there yet. I've learned to be very dependent on God when I need something and to not worry. And that was not me last year. So that's growth for me in my season of need, to stop worrying and just depend on God because he's going to work it out. That's growth for me. But I have room to grow when the Lord is finally giving me what I need and want, and I don't have as much need. I'm still learning to be on my knees praying every single morning like I don't even have that money. Like I still have the needs that I had last month. So that's my next growing phase. And you have to know yourself in order to see what you need to pray for in order for you to always be content with the Lord. Maybe you're someone who it's the opposite for you. Like I said, my struggle is still praying like I need it when I have it. Your struggle might be the opposite, to where when you're in need, you turn away from God because you're trying to handle it yourself and you don't got time to pray because you got to hustle. You got to do this, you got to do that. You know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you haven't learned to place your dependence on God with need. So for the author of this proverb to say, give me neither poverty nor riches, feed me with the food allotted to me, because he acknowledges how he acts when he has and how he could potentially act when he has not. It takes a lot of self-reflection, and that's something that every person needs to come to the realization of with their relationship with God. How do I act when I have, and how do I act when I don't have? So that you can correct that behavior, so that your relationship with God is always progressing. It's never stagnant. It's never regressing. It's always progressing. That's our goal in life. Always progress with our relationship with God, and to always have more of a mind of Jesus, which is what this is all about, right? Okay, moving on to Proverbs 31. The words of King Lemuel, the utterance which his mother taught him. Let me just pause and say, I appreciate how the book of wisdom ends with words of wisdom from a woman. And then this is also, I know y'all have all heard Proverbs 31, the Proverbs 31 woman. We're finally getting to the most famous part of Proverbs. So let's read through this. What, my son, and what, son of my womb, and what, son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroys kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the justice of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitter of heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth for the speechless and the cause of all who are appointed to die. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the case of the poor and needy. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax, and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night, and provides food for her household, and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hand to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. And we are done with Proverbs. It's been a month, you guys, but let's talk about y'all favorite proverb. Let's talk about y'all favorite proverb. Proverb 31. Okay, I closed my Bible. Now I got to open it back up. So let's really stick to Proverbs 31 because there is a lot to dissect there. I don't follow her, but I think you guys probably have seen, I think her name's Charisma on TikTok. And she was talking about Proverbs 31 and she was saying, these are large shoes to fill. Starting in verse 13, she seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. So she does physical manual labor. She's a hard worker. Okay, number one, hard worker. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She's working hard. Like, okay, hard worker, but now we see far away, like from the merchant ships. So she's like hunting and gathering. She doing a lot. Okay. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. So she's producing for her household what she is bringing in. Her hard work is producing the meals for her household, and she's waking up while it's still night. When I think about that, I'm thinking like, okay, she's waking up at like 4 a.m. While everyone else is sleeping, she's waking up like probably like 4 a.m., taking a couple hours. Back then they didn't have a air fryer. She's making things from hand. They're probably making bread every single day from hand, which probably isn't the most tedious process, but definitely time consuming if you're doing it every single day, especially. And she's arising at night to do this. And this is a consistent thing. I have trouble waking up at 9 a.m. sometimes, especially in the past week when my internal system has been kind of rocked by my Bali trip. We were 12 hours ahead and I come back and I'm sleeping during the day and waking up at night. But she is making sure that she is awake before anybody else to not just provide for her house, but also her servants, her maidservants. So she's generous. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. She's a businesswoman. So not only is she a homemaker, she's a businesswoman. She's buying land. She considers it, she buys it, and then she's planting vineyards. Okay. And then verse 24 says the same thing. She makes linen garments and sells them and supplies sashes for the merchants. She has multiple businesses. She's an entrepreneur. The Proverbs 31 woman is the original. She's the OG girl boss. Like, she's an entrepreneur. Not only can she cook from scratch, she's making clothes from scratch. She's selling them in the merchant places. They're looking out for her. They like, oh, where's Abigail with the sashes? Like, she has multiple businesses. She has multiple streams of income. This is the hustle culture. Proverbs 31. Verse 21, she is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She's proactive. She does not react to the snow. She already prepared for the snow. She's thinking ahead. She's 6 months ahead of y'all. She's 6 months ahead of me. She is well prepared to cover her household. Her household, the good of her household is always on her mind. This is what a virtuous wife, and I'm just like, bruh, people get married so, I don't know, with this lackadaisical kind of view on what they should be providing and bringing to a marriage. And it's like Proverbs 31 is telling us what the wife should bring, and then we already know a husband should be doing 5 times as much. And that's why I will never be mad about my marriage maybe taking a little bit longer. Because if this is the type of virtuous wife that I should be, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Now, can the Lord make it happen overnight for me? Yeah, but we know him. We know how he works. You ask him for something and he gives you the ingredients. He don't just give you, he's not Uber Eats. He says, oh, you want this? Okay, I'm going to set this up so that you can gain that for yourself. That's how the Lord works a lot of the time. So if this is the type of wife that I need to be, I'm sure that I will grow into it in my wife role. I'm sure that I will. Like, for example, I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to cook right now. It's just me and the cats. I have no reason for it. So I'm sure that there are certain applicable things that will grow within me when I get married and the Lord refines me in that season. That's just some of these things, they're just not my season. But you consider these things and you say, do I have this? I know me. Would I want to do these things? And like I said, the Lord can change our hearts, our attitudes, the things that we want, our desires, of course. But let's be real with ourselves. Let's be real with ourselves. A lot of us want to get married tomorrow, but if we got married tomorrow, we would not be open to doing some of these things. We would not be open to doing them. So Proverbs 31 is a real reality check for a lot of women. And I don't know if that's how a lot of people take it, but that's definitely how I took it. A reality check, who can find a virtuous wife? I just love how Proverbs 31 ends with talking about who can find a virtuous wife. In all the book of Proverbs, the last thing that's going to be on our minds is being a virtuous wife and a man finding a virtuous wife. Seems to me like a wife is very important. Muy importante. But yeah, we're going to close out there. I am so proud of us for finishing Proverbs. I got a lot more out of it this time around reading it than I did the first time when I tried to just read through it. Taking it day by day with you guys has really helped me to absorb way more. It's helped me to sit down with it every single day. It's helped me when you talk about something, it helps you to remember it a little bit more. There are some verses that I'm like, oh, Proverbs is where that verse comes from. And when you read it and you see it for yourself, that helps with your memorization too, which is definitely a goal of mine, to memorize as many applicable verses to my life as I can. Because scripture is what's going to help you in hardship. And you're not always going to have your physical Bible. Maybe you don't always have your phone. You need to have it in your mind and in your heart. I just hit my lip. So I just love the fact that you guys went through Proverbs 1 through 31 with me. The month of July has been amazing. Make sure that you pray over the month of August. It's starting tomorrow. Wake up. It's the first of the month. Did you pay your rent? After you pray, go ahead and pay your rent and make sure that you get August started off on a good note with the Lord. All right, I will see you guys later. Watch out for the vlogs that will be coming up in the next week. Love you guys. Bye.